I
Can you
sent it to you,
text?
but
Got it. And I'm going to see if I can do the same.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I sent you it, but I'm not sure you have all 6 photos.
Okay.
So just let me know.
That's them moving.
Hold on one
And
second.
a little scout ship probably dropped out of there. That's what I'm seeing. Is the little lights that you see coming out of the big orb? It's more than likely a little scout ship.
It's more than likely a what now?
Little scout ships coming out of the orb. The two.
Yeah.
He sent me a text with everything.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she took the picture. So you have a large orb, and then you have 2 smaller ones that just dropped out. And
Well, that's what happened with the one that I saw.
likely
Yeah.
starships. And I'll show you the close-up that I have in the book here. This one here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I asked for an image for humanity, and what they did was they came in a fireball. You see the fireball at the top.
Yeah.
And then you'll see that it opened up the shield and there was a round orb spinning.
Wow.
Okay, it should be actually seen this way because this one here, you see the pyramid shaped windows open and it was spinning. So we'll have to show Donna when she gets back. And yeah, so that's in the book. And that's for humanity. I have shown some of the top reporters and researchers, and it just goes over their head because it's not a saucer. It's, you know, they don't go, oh, wow, she has disclosure. Let's talk about it. Let's get connected. Let's do what we need to do to keep this going.
Yeah, it's as if they're going down the wrong road. They keep wanting to go down a road that
they have their own,
irrelevant.
it's their own formulation of how it should look, and it's big money, and so it's hard to pull out of that, you know, when you go, oh, we could take a few transistors and make $1 billion. I mean, when does it end on that level, you know, the espionage,
It just really slows down the
it's
progression of
out
where we
of
are with the frequencies. And, you know.
But while we're waiting for our girl to come back, and what you do is to, oh, she's coming back now.
Sorry. That was my kid calling me.
Oh, your children?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so I wanted to show you, I was showing your sister, that in the book, they gave me image of a command ship coming, a galaxy ship, this one over here. And you'll see the fireball, right? It's all coming in, it's coming into the atmosphere. That's why it's on fire. And then later I'm going to turn it properly. This is the way it should go.
Okay.
And later it opened its shield and it was a round orbiting machine, a ship, right? A galaxy ship. You can see the windows and everything. So that's for humanity. That's in the book. And I was looking at your image that you sent on my phone, and I wanted to tell you that you'll often see these round orbs. You know, usually the orbs are you know, ships that are controlled with their mind. It's a little bit more organic. The other one you could tell was made of metallic of sorts. And I wanted to say that the 2 dots or the 2 ones that came out of the orb was probably scout ship, like a little scout ship. So it must have been a very large size for it to end up. Yeah, so yeah, a very large size. And you see the 2 dots there coming out of the ship. Those are probably little small scout ships.
Yeah.
You know? And so.
And the fact that it woke you up, I mean, I kind of think you were.
That didn't wake me up. I get woken up. I think it's God waking me up, to be honest.
Well,
and it's depressed.
My point is that you were invited.
I want to make a statement here that in order to connect with you, Donna, The higher one, the ones that are not of reverse consciousness, that are here for the benefit of all, they connect to the radiant one. So they call God the radiant one. That's why they say glory in the light of the radiant one. So if that is your lineage, you know, if that's someone, because this has been a repeating, and you remember Commander Rael said, as they come closer to you, you awaken more. They can literally merge their consciousness with yours, and you go into like God state. You know, I've been 4 times just having the Amrita from my brain. It's a liquid that drops into your brain and you go into God's consciousness. But they can induce it by coming close to you and even merging with your brain, with your synapses, or your consciousness, only through your giving approval. But in order to be close to you like this, and to, like you say, the radiant one gives them the approval that they could come close to you and show themselves. We've been in a period of cloaking where they had to cloak for 10,500 years, but it's now the time of the reintegration. So they no longer have to cloak. And because our brains are now going in a higher state of frequency, we can look through the dimensional field where they live. So that's another thing. So as our frequency rises, we're actually coming into their living room. And it's like, hello, well, hello, you know, the wall dissolves and they're sitting there and they're going, well, who are you? And you're going, well, who are you? You know?
Yeah.
And so that's a really fun one. When we go out to Skywatch, they spend a lot of time working on our synapses. So if I bring somebody new that's open, but hasn't ever seen them, they'll show up in holograms that look like those ones you were showing, that did kind of like the folded pizza, you know, the silver ones that morph. They'll show up as an airplane without a wing. They'll show up as an airplane, divide into 2 airplanes, divide into 4 airplanes, and then come back into 1. And then they'll do it again. They'll show themselves as clouds. We were talking about looking up into the heavens, right? This is one where they actually, this one here, they actually etched the silhouette of San Francisco in the clouds in real time. And then they put their ship behind it and lit it up like a candle. This one down below here is the morphing of heavenly clouds. And as it opened and opened and opened, I saw the throne of God, and the light of God hit me square in the chest. So there's no differentiation between the illuminated interstellar beings and God. I mean, you call it God, source, creator, whatever it may be, the radiant one. They love nature. They spun 100 dragonflies. You know, they came out and they were doing some maneuvers, and they put 100 dragonflies around us. As soon as they left, there was none. You know, so they create waterfalls out of clouds. They have this. There's some artistic ones that are really amazing. But
I had one when I was over in England. I stood outside my gate shack, and it was like everybody that was working on base left to go home. So the base was pretty much empty, but this cloud started to roll across at a really high rate. I mean, it wasn't like creepy crawling. It looked like a wave at the natural pace of a wave rolling across the sky. I mean, for me, it kind of scared me because I saw it. I was like, well, it looks like the sky's opening up or something's going on. You know, I mean, it was just.
You know, it's not a regular cloud, right?
No, but I just, I don't think anyone else saw it, you know, maybe.
That was for you, darling. Sometimes it's just for you.
Oh, gosh, thank you.
You get some really, you know, one time I was standing in a parking lot and a column of luminous, kind of a soft pink orange just rose into the sky, and everybody who came out of the stores, because I was there by myself, and then suddenly people were coming out of the stores. We were in a parking lot, and we're all standing there going, what is this? So we're all click, click, click. Thank you for those phones. And it was the most beautiful color. Our hearts were open. Everybody was silent. We were just meditating on it. And it lasted, I was out there for 45 minutes. I said, I can't leave. I don't know. It's too beautiful. It's God.
Yeah,
It's whatever. But there's the intelligence of creation is upon us, and it's guiding us now to the frequencies, the higher states of mind, the higher states of being. I'm so excited. I wanted to go back and when you mentioned, Donna, God, what are you going to do? There's so much happening here. I want to first state that everything that is incorrect and creation is, from what I've been told by the high spiritual council, is an expression of the creator. So even those with reverse consciousness have a purpose and a function. So we cannot, that's why they say, do not judge, lest you be judged, right?
Yeah.
What we're going through is the chrysalis. And so all of the gunk and the goop that was hidden is now coming to the surface. And nothing, all these expressions, whether it's the death of people, children, all the things that are happening are taking us to that place, because what we're seeing is humanity stepping up, mothers having protests in the park with their children. I saw this protest here where the women brought their children to understand how to protest against children being killed in foreign, in Ukraine or whatever. But I thought that was powerful. And this young child, they interviewed this child, and the child said, well, I'm here because I want people to know that they shouldn't do this. This is not right,
Amen.
and out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah.
That was the most powerful thing. It was like, not only the mothers are standing up, people are standing up against the war. They're not just going, oh, there's a war on, gee, that's interesting, well, I wonder what that's about, There's so many layers, smoking mirrors, who's on first? Is it Putin coming in and saying, no more taking of our children, kidnapping them, or women trafficking, human trafficking, no more bioweapons labs, There's so much to it. We can't really, we're seeing the false narratives that are being put on our news. By the way,
Right.
Be careful, CNN has been caught with their lies in showing things that aren't true about Ukraine and pushing their agenda. I just want to say that out loud because it hurts me that, we're being subjected.
So deceived as well.
We are being deceived. And so what is God going to do? It's going to move us right as we gather our consciousness and we envision out to the universe. We're in charge of that. We can manifest as group mind. And I want to say that there is over 100 million open and awakened people who are meditating on a regular basis on this planet.
Amen.
We started out harmonic conversion, kind of 20,000. We're now over 100 million awakened, and we don't really get the advertisement. It's through your work, Lori and Donna, that you bring us out and we talk about these enlightened things. Let's see, we talked about the orbs, and I just want to say that each one of us, here's a teaching that comes from Meso Kibera, the books of the Seventh Council, that each one of you was birthed into creation. You were an idea, and God or Source created you. You are indestructible. Nothing can stop your vibration. You have a purpose and a function for being here. And this time is the time where we transition into the next golden age. We step out of the age of the chemical brain uh, things being given to us, right, that change our thinking, the black box, the television, the telephones, the everything, programming, all the programming,
Mhm.
all of that is falling apart because the wiring in our brains, our crown to our sacrum, is now being affected by a higher frequency. And I believe, as you're saying, Donna and Lori, that this higher frequency is allowing us to think for ourselves and to have experiences that reflect where we are thinking. You are opening yourself, Donna, and so therefore you are allowed to see.
Mhm.
You know,
I wanted to say something too, because when my awareness first got opened, it was like the worst day of my life ended up being the best day of my life. My son overdosed. They said he was brain dead. They're going to pull the plug. And that was the day I heard God speak. And ever since that moment when I said I will obey what God wanted me to do, he never stopped talking. And one time, I'm a brand new believer, you know, a big difference being Catholic and religion to being like, God is real. I was in church, and it was like, God would always, it was like pull a curtain. It was like a big fat curtain was being pulled. And all of a sudden I look, I'm standing in the back of the church, and I look and I see everybody seated in church, and they all had like white envelopes over their faces. Like, that's what it looked like, white envelopes over their faces. And I had this moment and I was like, oh my gosh, they don't even see, they're blinded. They don't even see the war is going on. We're in a war, and they're passive sitting in a church pew, you know? And I was like kind of alarmed. I'm like, God, why are you showing me this? You know, and at the time, because I really didn't understand what he was saying, other than like, you know, nobody knows what's going on. Do you see the people in the
when
churches?
they say they do, they
They
don't.
don't have a clue, you know? Yeah.
But
So, and it was
yeah.
a season of him moving me into these different groups. And because I was so hungry seeking the truth. And you know, I'd be in a group and I'd sit in there and be like, yeah, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. It was just
Yeah.
like,
It's amazing. There's
and
not that much truth out there, you know,
right.
but
And the funny thing is though,
more.
it's like Lori had the alien experience, right? But I was saying back then, I was like, I am an alien now, because I couldn't relate to anybody.
Yep.
I was experiencing things that were not normal.
Wide awake.
Yeah. And it was like, oh my gosh, I'm, you know, now I'm
Oh
an
my
alien.
goddess.
Yeah.
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 I think that too. I think when you start realizing that the power of intuition, it's to me, having that gift is been, for me, it's just been a great gift, because it's like I could feel what people are, you know, I can feel a lot more things that what people are doing or what they're thinking, or
Hear their second voice.
yeah. And, you know, often it's not good. Donna's witnessed me do it all, you know, as a kid, you know, Mom, you and Dad are getting a divorce, you know, and it's like, I knew it, you know, I just knew it.
Yes.
And Donna was like, are you kidding? What are you talking about? You know, and
What's going on?
yeah,
Yeah.
but later they were divorced. But I think that being sensitive though sometimes can really take a lot out of you, you know? I mean, being sensitive and being bombarded with the frequency, because it knows that, you know, that when you have it, sometimes, you know, I will tend to fall into a depression or fall into, you know, just feeling a sadness over what's happening in our world, you know, and and I want to be strong, you know, and I try my best to be strong and positive and whatnot.
One of the things I share with people is when you get in those situations, you can use the frequency, like 40 hertz is really good for stabilizing your mental, but also to realize we're here for eternity. So each and every person is going to awaken, go through the process. It took me a long time realizing that evolution is not across the board. Like birds, not every animal or creature has wings. So there was the giving of the wings and the giving of the ability to swim in the sea, the ability to swim in the sea and walk on the land, you know? And so we're in that place where we're being given the opportunity to evolve. But, you know, so it is a gift. I feel like it is a blessing. My life was a total blessing. I used to walk around like you, Donna, saying, you know, I'm totally an alien. I'd look, because I couldn't speak about things that I had seen. You know, our family was metaphysical. I was in Harry Potter every day, and my life was Harry Potter. And then seeing these ships and everything, and people are like, what are you talking about? So I had to just be quiet, you know, coming back from being in the Godhead, I couldn't even talk because I was getting so much information. My whole DNA was open, and I was a witness for many years. I just sat back, and I knew that if somebody walked in, they're going to say this, and this is their life lessons. And if they go this way, if they say this, they'll go this way. If they don't, they're going that way, you know. And yeah, so being as sensitive, I'm right there with you, but I'm seeing more and more the word is coming out. Oh, my child's is sensitive. And I go, wow, okay. Yeah, okay, I get that. So the respect for having these abilities is assisting humanity in becoming a little bit more compassionate and recognizing, yeah, we got you, you know, like we got you, you know, I don't want to hear your other voice. Yeah, it's not an easy thing.
Yeah, when you're being empathetic and being sensitive to just being what we're intended to be, sentient beings, you know.
Yes, that's going to be a part, and we'll be guiding others. I mean, I have people that you know, ask me, you know, what do I do? I have a sensitive child, or I'm becoming a sensitive. What do I expect? And some days we have meltdowns because there's just too much information coming in. And so what I have to do, I had one yesterday. I went into total overwhelm. You know, it was just too much high energy for me to absorb. And I had to actually just take a break and walk on the earth. I had to take a break and go outside and just be in nature and just let the energy flow until I calm down. I can literally feel my energy coming back in like this, you know, where I can modulate. But yeah, we are, and we're just diving into this. One of the things that they're sharing with me, the spiritual healers that are here to help us. I don't know if you're aware of the secret space program and the Space Force that was made by Trump. They decided to turn all the microwaves on. Every microwave tower can go up to 6G, and 5G is a weapon, right? I just came through a experience where I had a microwave weapon directed at me and almost took me out. So, but what's happening is the reformation of some of these galactic fleets. They've fixed their equipment, they've regulated their equipment so that they're not affected by the 5G or the 6G microwaves. But humanity is now being affected by these microwaves. So I tell people to imagine yourself in a Faraday cage, like an energy cage that reflects back any harmful rays.
Yeah, or the way I would envision it would be, imagine somebody putting 1,000,000 pins through your body. Each pin is a frequency or microwave, you know, that's piercing us. I mean, it's really
That's what's actually happening, right? But you can reflect that by creating light around you. So making it a practice of creating what they call a Faraday cage, or a cage in which certain rays can affect you. And it's been tested. People can do it. You could do it with your mind. So we're starting to learn how to control our energy field and use it for healing. And these celestial healers are bringing in this quantum abilities, quantum medicine, frequency medicine, You can play frequencies 528, 438 hertz in your home. You can run it low, keep the energies flowing, and it's just enough to where it puts out the vibrations of love and gets the cellular reproduction to function properly. So really diving into some of the machines like the Rife machine. They have one that's a negative ion machine, and really getting into the creation of healing centers that we can go to and rebalance our fields, and not using every time you have an ache or pain, here, let me take an opiate, let me take something else that's breaks down other parts of our body. Chemotherapies are now becoming by the wayside because they now have figured out that for cancer, 100,000 to 300,000 hertz is the measure where these mutant cells cannot grow. They just can't function in the body. So rather than debilitating the whole body, we can go in and use these frequencies. So slowly over the years, educating, praying that the AMA will just say, okay, we better get on it, instead of using the chemical methods to move more towards the more beneficial, enlightened way of healing compassionately. So that's part of my work here now, working in the quantum field as I always have. And they've given me instruments to work with people. I'm so excited. I'm going to be taking people up to a celestial healing chamber coming up in April. Newsletters.
Where is that? I mean, like, say for instance, anyone listening to our podcast here, where could they get more information about this, about what you're doing, and to be able to grow in alignment with what you're doing, to be able to really communicate and get off of this neophyte level to more, we really
Galactic. Well, we have a Galactic Earth Council. We were founded in
no.
Yeah, exactly. 2010, we started our Galactic
What are you
Earth.
doing now?
Like, what am I doing now? Well, I'm talking to the celestial healers. Yeah, they're out on my porch, my balcony all the time. We started in 2010, this particular grouping. I think way back in the 1980s was when I really started working with the High Spiritual Council, but now they have me working with the celestial healers. We're now 11 years in, no abductions, plenty of sightings, both ships, luminous beings, you name it, a variety of ways. You can read about our stories at galacticearthcouncil.com. You can sign up for the newsletters. There's always interviews in our YouTube, our Galactic Earth Council YouTube. There's readings from the books. We read chapter 11, and just some of my state of affairs, I just have to say it. But what we're going to be doing in April is Skywatch, but we're also going to be offering a journey up to the Celestial Healing Chamber. Yeah. So that'll be in the newsletter. So if you go to Galactic Earth Council and scroll down, you'll be able to sign up. You'll get the newsletter and you'll be able to register.
Where are you doing the Skywatch?
The Skywatch is in Fairfax, California.
Okay.
And I'm actually being guided to assist people who are not physically in the area where I am to do their own Skywatch.
Oh,
good. So they're very open. So I may be doing a galactic forum in which everybody can join. And that's when I'm going to announce how to make your own contact with higher celestial beings that will then start your own group. It's always in ceremony. So that's how I'm differentiated from other Skywatch. The reason is I just was present to a Skywatch not too long ago. I always go and see other people's just to see how it's doing. And there's a tendency to, look, look, there's a dot, look, there's something, I don't know what it is, but what we teach you is how to slow down the mind and recognize there's somebody flying the ship. Like, who's flying the ship? Open your intuition. And as you look at those pictures, Donna, that you sent, it's so beautiful. Who is flying it? Is it male, female, androgynous? Is there more than one being? There was obviously more than one because two popped out, little scout ships. That opens the communication. You can say glory in the light of the radiant one, which is allows them to understand that you have enough intelligent and spiritual growth that you recognize we are one. Their unity mind is like the unified consciousness of creation connected to the source.
Right.
So you're going to love that,
Well, I want to definitely support you any way I can so you can keep doing this
Lori.
work. Truly, truly. And I know Donna's going to say, we got to have her come back.
Yeah.
We hope you can come back.
She's
We
part
just
of
scratched the surface.
Right, Don?
We did. I love you. I love you, Donna. You're awesome. And beautiful sister. I'm so glad the two of you are together, opening the curtain and letting people see truth, because that's what they're seeking.
Amen.
The truth. It's time. It's time.
It is time.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. Do you want to tell about the time when the woman told you you were a prophet?
Oh, me? Yeah. I just want to say one thing too, because what God has me right now, where I'm at is, I started going to this Phoenix house. Is like a drug center for drug addicts, and we started doing this guy. I was doing it with this guy and his wife, and they were doing like a Bible study, right? So, but I'm there, right, and like I'm so sensitive. And God is talking to me about people there, right? So it's so incredible because this is like the perfect ground for these people they're broken and they're seeking, they want help, and they don't know how to get help. And it's like we are just getting them so excited because this one boy there, a young 22-year-old kid, and he was just, my heart broke for him because as a feeler, you feel what the kid is going through, right? And I don't know anything about him, but God told me to tell him something, and I did. And I said, listen, I said, I just want you to know, I said, God sees you. He sees you. Just that alone, the kid was undone. Like, yes. God cares. I go, you matter. You're important.
Everyone.
So many in this generation, the younger generation, especially when they're hooked on drugs, they feel like there's no hope and it's hopeless. And I said, it's only because you don't know your identity. The awakening is to recognize who we are, that we're from a higher level. We are not on the dregs of the earth. We're child of the Most High God. We're royalty. We're powerful people.
Go girl.
So when you know who you are, you're able to utilize from the heavens that intellect.
That's right.
Bless, you can heal, you can raise the dead. There is nothing that we cannot do. When my biggest moment, I'll never forget, is when they were going to pull the plug. He's brain dead in the hospital. And I walk in there as a baby Christian. I don't know hardly anything because, we didn't really read a Bible as a Catholic. And I said to God, I said, God, you said in that book that, those who believe will do greater things than I did when I walked the earth. That's what Jesus said. And I said, God, you saying this, I said, I'm taking my hands right now. I'm going to put them on my kid's head. And I am praying everything that is good, healing, powerful, Holy Spirit inside of me, pour into my kid's head, right? I'm praying. And as I'm praying, I got my hands on his head like this. And I'm like forehead to forehead. And I feel my son's head going like this, right? But I don't stop, right? But his head is literally going like this, pulsing. My daughter at the time believed, I only believe in aliens. There is no God. She's sitting at the foot of the bed with her phone. And she looks up and she sees my son trying to grab me. Now he was brain dead. He was a vegetable. And now he's trying to hug me as I'm praying, right?
But you notice what you're doing. You're merging your consciousness with him. And this is what we just said. It evolves and it elevates the
Yeah.
brain synapses.
Yeah.
So there you just proved it with yourself, you know,
Yeah.
and he's coming out of that place wherever he was trying to hug you. That is so beautiful.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is at one point when my son was coming out of it, now he said to me, because I said to him, I go, when you were in the coma, what could you hear us? What was going on? What were you experiencing? And he said, Mom, I felt like I was in the middle of the ocean by myself. And these demons were coming around me, saying that they're going to take me home to hell. And he goes, and they were like starting to come on top of him. And he says, and he goes, it was like the heavens opened up and somebody called down and said, hands off, he's in international waters, meaning his fate has not been decided yet. His fate has not been decided yet.
Beautiful.
And when I
girl.
And when I asked God about it, God said he was in international waters because I put on Facebook asking for prayer. And he goes, every single prayer was needed to save his life. Otherwise he was going, because he wasn't.
Well, his mind was set that he wasn't worthy of some sort. So he was he was giving them permission.
Green light, take me out.
Yeah, take me because I don't deserve whatever. I'm nothing, right? Because
Yes.
that's the addict mind. And
but me as a mom,
yeah,
when this happened,
ain't happening.
My reaction was like, oh no,
no.
You picked the
She's
wrong
a little
mom.
lioness. I could see her little
Yes.
fire angel. She's a little fire angel.
And
Watch out.
I feel like God used that because my whole family believe God now, that God is real. My husband is an electrical engineer. Very hard for somebody who's so scientific to be spiritual. And he praises God every day because of the miracles that he's seen and witnessed since this journey that we've done.
I'm so happy for you.
And what was interesting too, while this was going on, I was living in Roanoke, Virginia at the time. And one of the things that I like to do was go metal detecting. And I happened to find this metal and it had a symbol on it. It looked like a Catholic metal, like a saint on it, but it wasn't. It was silver. So I stuck it in my car and left it there without thinking about it. It was about 2-3 months later, Donna, when she put that post on Facebook, saying, I need a miracle. I need prayers, I need a miracle. And I thought to myself, when I was a child, I was about 8 or 9 years old. My mom took me and my oldest sister, Chris, to Lourdes in France. And one thing, they had a lot of, that's where a lot of
prayers. Yeah.
And in the evening, we did this thing we'd sing the song Ave Maria. Everyone would have a candle.
Oh, with a candle, I did that.
Yeah.
That's where the morphing of the sky opened up with the God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it is amazing. It's like a chilling.
The whole town is 50,000.
So I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go on their website and I'm going to write down, I need prayers for my nephew and miracle. And there on their screen was the symbol of the thing I had in my car that I found. It was a miracle. And I thought, oh my God, I have got to get this medal also over to Donna. It was almost as if it was intended to go to.
And it come its way all the way to go to him.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole connection with the whole thing with the Lourdes, the miracle, it was almost as if the universe or God had put everything in alignment, like he was checking off different
And you could believe it. Yes,
switch, and so I believe in miracles.
I
And
do too.
I've
And
been,
I'm so grateful that your family, I'm going to have to go soon.
yeah, me
Yeah, I
too.
gotta go too. I'm sorry. I gotta run. I gotta get dinner on. So
But it has been a great joy to be with both of you. And, when you describe her touching the hands, I was literally seeing you merging your consciousness, giving him some of what that's exactly what Rael talked about, giving each other that little piece, that little part of us that helps raise each other up. And then you were helping with, you're like, okay, I'm a vessel, and you find the metal that was literally there in Lord's. I've been there. There's no, when the sky opened up for me, first it was morphing. My girlfriend took a picture. She wasn't really a believer, even though she'd go out on Skywatch. And she says, I never saw anything. So she's snapping the pictures. I'm looking up, the sky's still going like a Greco picture painting with angels and Mother Mary and my sister Isis, who is Mother Mary, by the way. And all this going. And then the light, this golden light just came down. I was on the ground just falling and crying. But the power of that place and the prayer and the pyramid mountains and the water and the sound, to have that piece of metal that you found, you just, that there's no the synchronicity of that is, you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so proud of both of you. Thank you for bringing me on. And
Well, you're part of our family now, so you'll be invited anytime.
thank you, my
you
dear.
definitely have to, because we just scratched the surface, and I just feel that this was a divine appointment, and God's hand selects who's going to be viewing this, so we'll see
Beautiful.
where the journey goes,
Oh, glory in the light of the radiant one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly where we want our podcast to be. So we're scratching the surface, like Donna said. So we got to continue scratching, and we need your help.
Continue scratching, continue giving forth the light upon the light upon the light. And love you both. And I'm going to say fare thee well. I'm going to stop the recording so you can stop it on your end.
Okay. Oh, before you stop it, did you stop it?
No.
Could you say a brief, I'd like, and Donna to do a little one too, just a brief like prayer, or if you want to speak in tongues, or whatever you want, whatever energy you feel that you want to.
Well, the speaking in tongues for me is actually speaking in my Syrian, my original Syrian. So I can offer up a small prayer.
Thank you.
Mera Maya, oh, me anama areo, Meragrasna Mishnaya, no. In the highest light and the glory of the radiant one, may the blessings of 10,000 suns shine down upon this moment for all eternity. May the blessings of this working be given radiant glory, and may your names be sung in heaven, Lori and Donna. May the radiant one guide us in all of our workings, in all of our life. May peace come forth inside the center of the earth so it may radiate upwards as the moon draws the energy up. May it cool the fires of humanity. May it bring unified consciousness to those that are in the reverse state of being. We are one humanities. It is time for the awakening and to release those that you have captured, release those that you have brought asunder, and to recognize that we are ready to meet the whole of creation. Earth is becoming the galactic planet. So we call forth the leaders to guide us in truth, love, harmony, balance, compassion, and joy. Kumaraskanatera Mayakurasna, glory in the light of the radiant one. Hunamaishkanashe, Kuramaishe. Blessed be.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
All right, I got a boogie, so
Okay,
All right.
God
Okay.
is blessed.
You want to say anything or okay? Mwah. Yeah,
I
you
think
guys. Love you guys. We got to do this again, okay?
yes.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.